the
Okay,
setting of
yeah,
Dead Synchronicity.
yeah, sure. That Synchronicity Tomorrow Comes Today tells the story of the world after a catastrophe, which was called the Great Wave, and it's a series of earthquakes and tsunamis and so forth.
Okay.
So the world is now without power or communications or sources of power or whatever. And besides, there's an illness that's spreading all over the world, which is called the dissolved illness, which is a sickness that kills people. The illness dissolves people into a pool of blood, but
Oh.
also that illness gives people, like supernatural powers. I mean, they have been in places where they have never been. They can talk to the dead people. So in this quite optimistic scenario, Michael, which is the main character, wakes up after some kind of a coma, and he realizes that he lives in some kind of a concentration camp, because after the Great Wave, there are no governments or whatever. So the army has taken control of every place. So, well, I think it could serve as a short introduction of that
No,
synchronicity.
that's perfect. That when I was doing my little setup test run, I kind of skipped everything so that I could just like make sure that the game worked. I didn't want to spoil myself on anything before jumping into this, since obviously it's a point and click style game. It's very
Yeah,
narrative driven, so I didn't want to
sure.
I didn't want to have to. Oop, I didn't mean to switch to that. My bad. I'm breaking things. There we go. That's the one I want to click. So I didn't want to have a situation where I feel tempted to talk over these introductory scenes because they looked really nice, and again the VO really caught my attention. Just the quality of it, and how everything sounded. So we're gonna go ahead and this is very cutscene heavy, so I'm actually just gonna flip to a blank scene here and just let this play.
Do you think he'll recover?
I don't know. It's too soon to say. We should let him rest. He's been very feeble for weeks. He can't get up. He doesn't speak. Do you think we should call a doctor?
Call a doctor? Here?
You're right. Let's just hope he wakes up one of these days. Come on, my friend. Hang on. Don't give up. Please, let me
Sorry for the brief pauses in there. I was trying to get the volume adjusted back up because now it's on the quiet end for me. Um,
Wake up, Michael.
We pulled you out of your
Come on.
normal
You have to-
zone. It's okay.
no, it's
Wake up.
fun. I didn't balance as much as I normally do when I was setting everything up last night. So
Okay, well, I don't know if you noticed the credits. Just four people appeared, and three of them are brothers. In fact, we're three people who founded Ficturama, and we're brothers. Alberto, Mario, and myself are brothers. So,
okay,
Mario is the programmer, Alberto is the writer and the composer, and I'm the producer and PR manager. So we are a really tiny company. In fact, 90% of the game was made between just the four of us.
oh wow. I have two brothers myself, and I can't imagine us working long enough to put together a game. So, I applaud you there. I can only imagine because you bring that kind of familiarity to a work environment. You know, people that you've grown up with and that you obviously share blood with. So that's impressive. Being able to put that
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, because we spend, I don't know, 50, 60, 80 hours together a week, so it's just like every day, every time we are together working. Sometimes it's quite difficult to split the both sides, the professional and the family side,
Yeah.
but we do our best, so we haven't fight each other or something, it's like we get on quite well.
So all right, who's are you the oldest?
Yeah, I'm the oldest,
So
yes.
are you also the boss?
Oh no, no, I'm not the boss. In fact, we used to make every decision in a, just this. Everyone makes decisions. Every time we have to make a really important decision, we gather and we talk about it and we make suggestions, and then just like we have three, so it's quite easy to vote. Every
Right.
decision is made like 2-1 or 3-0, so it's easy.
That's actually, yeah, it's really beneficial way to look at it.
Yeah.
All right, so we got some initial dialogue choices. So this is a point and click adventure. If people are not familiar with that as far as a genre goes, usually you collect objects within your environment, utilize it within the environment, have interactions with other characters. I guess before we jump in too heavy, I've played a decent number of point and clicks before. How complex would you say your actual like puzzle mechanics end up being? Do you have any really bizarre out of the box kind of solutions, or is it pretty kind of logical throughout?
Yeah, we try to get quite logical puzzles. I mean, it's our adventure is focused on a quite mature audience. I mean, it's not a game for children or whatever, and it's based on a really cruel, merciless world. So it made no sense if puzzles were, as crazy as in Sam and Max or wherever, because this is a cruel world. So we try to make like logic puzzles, but there's a level of difficulty which expands more and more as the universe the backgrounds you can move through expands more and more. I mean, as you go playing, then you have more and more places to go, more characters to interact with, more puzzles to face simultaneously, and we know that adds some difficulty to the game. But those were the games we played and we loved when we were kids, like, I don't know, Monkey Island, in which you could play, you could visit lots and lots of places. Of course, our game is much, much smaller, but we loved that sense of living in a real world and having characters that changed over time. We love that, and we have tried to put that into our game, of course, in a very humble way.
That's fantastic. I have the horrible confession that I've actually not played Monkey Island, so I'm an awful person.
Well, I forgive you. Yeah, that's nothing.
I'm glad someone does. All right.
I don't.
Oh, jeez. Oh boy. All right. Who are you? Who's there? Oh, does it?
Who's there?
Please, Michael, wake up. Wake up.
This silence. And this darkness. Where am I? Damn it. I can't remember. Where are you? Where are you hiding?
Michael, please wake up. You have to wake up.
We wanted to create some kind of mood in these first minutes of playing.
Is that my name?
Darkness.
Please tell me where I am.
And this ghostly voice, and
it's definitely like especially having the blank screen like this definitely creates a real surreality to the situation. You definitely I feel very detached but still engaged, and it's a neat effect. I'm immediately like I agree actually with Bone Thrack there. Like I'm immediately intrigued by Michael just because of how full of life the VO actually is. Like situations like this, if you skimp on like quality VO, or even if this didn't have any VO at all, if this was just like straight text, which plenty of games still do, it would feel not as engaging to me. So that's
What's
definitely
happening?
Sure.
What is this place? Please tell me.
Wake up, Michael. Please wake up. Wake up now.
Don't go. Please. Come back. Come back. This silence. This darkness, this emptiness.
And now we have a floating briefcase.
Sure.
So that's, I guess, our inventory system. Oh, and there's oil lamp there. Okay, so I guess we'll turn that on.
We decided to,
Good
to
morning.
split the game
I
into
hope
a
you're
series
feeling
of
better.
acts, like to give a sense
Now,
of,
don't be alarmed. I'm glad you feel
progress,
strong
you know,
enough
like
to
if
get
you
up.
live in different stages of the same story.
Right,
I
okay.
must say, you're looking much better, considering what you've been through, of course.
Who are you?
Ah, yes, of course. Forgive my manners. You've been with us for so long that I forgot that you don't know who we are. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Rod Atkinson. Well, I was the director of the Municipal Property Registry before, well, you know, before the world collapsed on us.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Atkinson. But
Oh, that zoom in. That was neat. I really like the character design and the art style and the environments especially. I like the amount of detail that's going on back here. The light effects on the lamp are really neat. This is pretty cool looking.
Thank you. Yeah, we wanted to introduce some like dynamic elements in the visuals to break that feeling you have sometimes when you play point-and-click adventures, in which it seems like the camera is placed in the same angle every time, and you see the same kind of shot every time. You know, you see like some kind of a wide shot. You know, then we wanted to make zooms. There are times when you see a close-up of Michael's face, and when you hear his thoughts. So I wanted to introduce these little details to make the gameplay more dynamic.
Do you know what? Dynamic was just the word I was thinking. Like everything about this just serves to like just draw me in more, rather than like you were saying, like a lot of point and clicks they're extremely static. It's just your character moving around and then whatever your character's interacting with. And I guess maybe this is something we'll run into a little bit later, because I know one of the reasons why they do that is to not distract the player. You want obviously to draw your player to like, come investigate this, come look at that. So was that, as far as like your play testing goes, is that a problem you ran into where people were like, ooh, this is pretty, can I interact with this, and it not actually being something to work with? Or did you kind of focus more on giving that dynamicism to things that you're supposed to interact with?
Yeah, well, I think when you play the game, it's quite easy to find which hotspots you can interact or not. You know, as soon as you place the pointer in over a hotspot, then you see what you can do with it. But for us, it was very important to give the player some kind of fun just by entering a new location and realizing if, you know, maybe you see a really huge character because it's like the camera is really close to the characters, but in other backgrounds, the camera is quite far away, so you see the characters really small, you know, just like in a quite cinema-like style, you know, and we thought it could be a good idea because as players we love when you enter a background and then something happens. You know, it's just like you feel excited to see the next background, the next location, and see what happens and see what's there. That's why we also put a lot of attention into the art and the details of background. You know, because for us as point-and-click players, that's a reward. You know, it's just okay. Let's see the next background. This is something new. Let's see what's here.
Mm-hmm. Let's learn about where we are.
What is this place?
You are in what I venture to call our home, our humble, hopefully temporary home. This is one of the many trailers that make up the refugee camp. And believe me, we can consider ourselves lucky to live between these four walls. Most of the inhabitants of this hellhole, excuse my crude language, have nothing more than plastic tarps and cardboard for shelter.
Wait a second. Did you say refugee camp?
Yes, of course. The Facility for Temporary Accommodation of Disaster Victims is what they called it. You know, after the army declared martial law following the catastrophe. You look a little confused, if you don't mind my saying so. Do you really not know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. I'm afraid not. Let me ask you.
Are we dealing with an amnesia-style situation, or is this something that kind of gets covered a bit more later as to why Michael doesn't know what's going on?
Yeah. He's. I forgot to say that. Yeah, after waking up from this kind of coma, he's amnesic. So it was a really. We know it's some kind of a cliche, featuring. Yeah, you know that featuring an amnesic character because it puts the player in the same situation as the character. I mean, as the player goes playing a game, he finds out things which are the same things that the character is finding out. So it's quite easy to do that. But in this case, there are narrative reasons for that. I mean, later on you will find why. Michael is amnesiac, and it's related to that ghostly voice. I mean, there's a reason for all that. These first minutes of the game are quite narrative. I mean, we had to give some information to the players so that they understood what was going on. In fact, we made a huge effort to make this first part of the game quite shorter. It was longer at the beginning, and we noticed that when beta players played the game or in events or whatever, just like, okay, this is a bit time. I want to play, I want to do things. So we decided to cut a lot of that information off, and put that information as optional information you could get by reading a newspaper or reading a diary you're going to find just a few minutes later. And we wanted to give just the exact information the player needed to go on, to know what had happened.
To kind of get with the flow. Speaking of, I did. Oh, very sorry. So I think one of the things that I want to do, just so we make sure that we cover things like within time, obviously the narrative is a very important thing, and I would want people to explore that. And if there are any particular dialogue points within these conversations you want me to grab, but I actually want to be able to like skip ahead to the exploration of the puzzles, so I'm going to start flying through some of this dialogue here.
Do you really need
which is one thing that I did enjoy, that encourages multiple playthroughs, is the fact that I can skip through this. There's so many situations where I'm playing a game and I get like locked in to what's going on, but I want to be able to get to actually like interacting with your world a bit here.
Yeah, you can skip everything. In fact, we in old LucasArts games you could skip the sentences with the point, with the dot. So as an old school retro feature, we decided to feature that too. None of the clicking, but with a dot. And these are the close-ups I spoke about earlier. Yeah.
Yes.
Whenever Michael has some kind of inner thought, you see these close-ups. And I have to say that the first close-up, the one on the foreground, it was something we put on purpose. But the one behind, there are two close-up, was an accident. I mean, Mario, our programmer, was tweaking with Unity to use this effect, and then by a bug, we saw that huge face of Michael behind moving, and we thought, oh, that's great. Let's use it, but it wasn't on purpose. Yeah.
I like that because it gives it gives it more. Like, it's just like the first one is just him, and the back one has that like soft transparency to it, and so that seems to me to more represent like the inner thoughts and like the fact that it's bigger and moving from behind. Like again, going back to that sense of dynamicism. That's really that's a nice level of engagement and works really well with the type of game you've got here.
Thank you. I'd like to say it was our idea, but it was by chance.
Isn't that's how some of the best stuff works out, right? Is totally by accident. So this is what you were saying before is so the icons here, you have the hand, and then like right there I'm pointing at it, you got a little eyeball as well. So with the right click you have a nice simple investigation.
I doubt anything's been
baked in this oven. We wanted to feature a very, very simple interface, left click, right click, and that's all.
It's nice, and it's nice being able to. I want to find an example of like because when I was messing with this the first time, I think I need to mess with the sheet first. There's a very clear like, okay, I did this thing, but now I'm missing the hand, so I can't interact with it, but I can still look at it. And so like having that clear distinction of stuff that you can mess with versus stuff you can just look at, I appreciate just from a player standpoint. Oh, the family photos up here, so like I can't pull these, but
unframed snapshot.
I can investigate them. So.
Two adults and a child smiling.
We introduced a feature which is like pressing spacebar, then you see every hotspot in the location. So it's a help for to save time. This is something we weren't sure about because we as hardcore point-and-click adventure players is something we don't like to do, because it's okay. I want to find out everything by myself. I don't want no one to tell me anything. I don't want no tip at all. But it's true that nowadays there are a lot of players that it's just like, okay, I want to play. I don't wanna be cursing because I forgot to look corner, and I was stuck for 1 hour. Okay, so I think it's a very useful feature.
Hotspot buttons are amazing, and honestly, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that was one thing that I was gonna even ask about as far as that goes, because I had played a lot where that was a function. But I like this. Like, it's very soft. It's not like very jarring kind of idea. You still get this nice sense of like exploration. You just have these. All right, here's this fuzz over here. Here's that fuzz over there. What can I do with this? So beyond just the I know I can interact with these things, I actually did not know about this protruding bed spring down here. I obviously a lot of things on here are very like clear cut. Yes, there's a wardrobe, there's a lamp, there's a stove, there's these the dirty dishes. Actually, that's another one. So there's these things that are very clear. Like, yes, I know I can mess with these, but this little protruding bed spring down here.
The bed frame under the measures is so
It's
bad.
very important.
One of the springs turned
Yeah.
into a very sharp protruding object.
I mean, I can just see that being useful. Like, obviously, it's not the most useful thing here, but to make sure that you get the full expanse of a narrative and a better understanding of a character. Whoa.
Good God. What the hell happened here? Rada was right. I don't know what hit this place. But whatever it was, it struck into its very foundations without any mercy whatsoever. What's happening now?
You better hide, dude. Don't you know that it's dangerous to show your face when the cleanup brigades come to camp? You're new here, aren't you?
Yeah, you could put it that way.
Well, welcome to your new home. I'm Hank, but everyone calls me the Hunter.
I'm Michael. But what's going on up there?
Nothing, Mike, just routine. The cleanup brigades are taking away a sick person, a dissolved. You know how it is, just doing their job. Ironically, that house belongs to one of the camp moles. Those traitorous scumbags.
Brigades, dissolved, moles. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't remember anything.
Oh, I see, you're a blankhead. Well, you better get up to speed real quick if you want to survive here, Mike. Find me if you need help, dude. I can get you whatever you need. Doesn't matter where it is, how fast it runs, or where it tries to hide. That's why they call me the Hunter.
All right, I'll remember that.
Come back here! Don't take her away! Don't you know who I am? Come back here!
They shot that poor man in cold blood. But why did they do that? Hey, Hank?
Wow. So
I'm afraid he's gone.
that was a really cool little scene there. Like, I'm immediately just like, what the? Whoa.
But what's happening?
Yeah, it's pretty
What is
powerful
this?
stuff, isn't it?
What the hell's going on here?
I had to put this game on the Super Show
God,
because it's
I
just
think I'm starting to lose my mind.
so unusual.
Thank you.
And it's like, it's a point and click adventure, but it's dark and
that like little scene right there, that little chunk right there just sold the entire game to me completely. Like I'm already like, I want to know more about the world. I love the like you've got nice little slang jargon and nothing like really weird or complex. Oh, you're a blankhead. Like, okay, yeah, everything's gone. So it's just like I want to know more of these things. And like, sorry, the hunter guy was so campy. So like I just feel like I hope that there's. Whoa.
Yeah, these small
that's
cutscenes, you
amazing.
can skip them by pressing S if you want.
Everything is mutated. I don't understand.
Well, they'll be of great importance later on.
Right.
It's just like, Michael suffers this kind of trances, and you'll find out why. But it will take you quite a long time to find out.
Fair enough. The only thing I'm a little, I guess, okay, so the front of the trailers here is where we went in. So there's another room like right here. I'm just trying to like make sense of like visually the difference between from inside the trailer to outside the trailer. I was first of all, I wasn't expecting like step outside. I didn't know what I was in, so that was jarring to begin with. But yeah, the campiness of the hunter was really like charming. Like it felt like, yes, we're part of this world. Like this is it. Here it is. Like I love that there's Obviously, you had the very serious element to start off with, and then you have this guy who's just like he's cheeky and cheesy a little bit, and I like that. Creating that like stark contrast makes a world feel more alive. So very, very cool with that.
Thank you.
Ouch!
You can. Oh,
Damn it!
okay.
This vacant lot is full of. I managed to rip open the sole of my foot in a rusty nail.
Oh.
Hey, it's not good to walk around barefoot in this enormous trash heap. You won't get very far without shoes.
Thanks for the tip.
The tip is yours to keep. But if you come near my things, you're a dead man. Understood? Wait, I recognize you. Aren't you the guy Rod's been taking care of in his trailer all this time?
Yes, I am.
Of
All right.
You would do that with that.
Yes, but
Kind of pass along there. All right. I had a thought, and then the sudden like stabbing of my foot kind of killed it. Juju had a question actually. I saw it in chat, and I wanted to grab that. He asked about the hotkey. Are there still interactable things that are hidden from the hotspot key?
No, not at
Okay,
all.
so
when you press this, when you press the spacebar, you see everything that you can interact with. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't see the question.
All right. Let's. I'm sure I actually have to.
well,
I don't know. If I can leave him, I'm gonna leave him. I'm gonna poke around and mess with stuff. So we got our trailer. We got our. Actually, let's use said key now.
You can look by the window. Yeah, you can look by the window if you want, which is So there's a new location.
that must be little Colin, Rod's son. He looks unwell. Was that him I heard moaning in pain inside the trailer?
Oh, the reflection is cool. That is neat.
From here, it looks like one of those metal boxes for Danish butter cookies. And judging from how worn it looks, I'd say that it's been reused over and over again.
Like that, right? That's just a super cool effect.
It's hard to see clearly through all the grime on this glass. On the other side is the room where Rod and his family have locked themselves away.
Already did that.
Rod seems upset and worried. What's going on in there? That's Rod's wife. I heard her calling him from the other side of that door that just closed behind him. She looks worn out with those dark circles under her eyes. She looks like she hasn't slept in days.
I can really appreciate that, APOC. Just like the subtlety of it is what makes it so cool to me. Like rather than having just an in-your-face, here's a reflection. It's if you don't notice it, it still makes you feel absorbed in the scene. But if you do notice it, it doesn't pull you out of it, kind of thing. Didn't mean to do that. So like little touches like that just show that just. Obviously, you guys have a very high appreciation for the narrative and how you're telling it. So that's really cool, and it comes across.
Thank you. Yeah, yes. Of course, those little details were things that you add. When you have the game almost finished, it's like, okay, the game's done. Now let's put these little things that are going to make the game richer. Like more vivid, like more attractive. In fact, in the trailer, there's a wardrobe, and the wardrobe has a mirror. And Michael reflects himself in the mirror too. That's something that maybe it takes you a few hours to create, and maybe you notice it. But if you do, it's just like you're living in a more real environment. Like a more real setup.
Yeah, no, that's nice. That's very nice. Little details like that just pull you in.
Someone improvised a bonfire inside that drum. Although the smoke starts to irritate the lungs pretty quickly. It seems like the only heating system the camp inhabitants have. No. With my foot in this condition, I wouldn't get... I think it would be better to go back inside the trailer and try to take care of this wound. It doesn't look too good.
Yeah, in fact, you can't leave this location until because Michael says, okay, I'm not walking barefoot, That's a puzzle, of course, at a narrative level we used to make the player discover how to play in these two locations. You have to find out how to use the game, how to look at things, how to pick up things, how to use things in the inventory. And once you know that, then we'll leave you go out of these two locations. It's just like it has two purposes.
From what's written in here, before ripping out almost all its pages.
Let's see. So let me see if I'm actually like. This is I was kind of hoping to like avoid having to show off how bad I am at point and clicks.
It's the door Rod went through after hearing those moans. The same one.
Rod, I ripped my foot open. Can I borrow a Band-Aid? I need to. I'm not allowed to say Band-Aid. Sorry, that's just a trademark. Oh my goodness.
Can I ask you a few?
Do you want to tip something?
Sure. I mean, like, in a normal situation, I would just explore more fully, but I want to make sure that like we get to see a decent amount while we have time for it. So yeah, we're in this situation, maybe just a general idea.
Okay. Do you have something in your inventory? I don't know if you picked it up.
I've got a pot lid and a notebook.
Okay. And did you try to sneak into the trolley that Trump has? You know, like trying to use the trolley to pick up the trolley or something?
The trolley to pick up the trolley?
Yeah. Do you see behind the fire? There's a trolley.
The shopping cart? Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. And the Trump didn't let you do it. Okay. So you'll have to look for a way to distract him.
I'd better hold on. Let's see. I could swear that the lid is just the right size for this drum. Perfect.
Damn it! What's going on?
Oh,
poor guy.
This damn shithole.
Yeah, in fact, we wanted to. Michael is a very. Of course, you know nothing about Michael when you start playing a game, because Michael himself doesn't know anything about himself, because he's an amnesiac. So we wanted Michael to define himself as the player makes him do the things he has to do, and so we wanted to create a character that, the player is going to find out who Michael is, because. Well, I can say anything else without spoilers, so I'm not going to say anything else at all.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, that's a nice side effect of and why, as you were mentioning with amnesia being like such a cliche, it's a nice side effect of the amnesiac character is because you can more easily place yourself in their shoes because they know as much about the world as you do. So dialogue doesn't feel awkward. It's not that forced, like, please tell me about this thing that me as a character should know all about. So it's understandable as a trope within gaming, but it does also help to definitely be able to insert yourself in that sense. And we haven't gotten much of Michael's personality yet. So all of this makes sense as the kind of thing that he might do, or, that we as people in this situation would go, hey, it makes sense to me that I would make a trash can guy choke on his smoke from his bonfire. Like, who cares? All right, so
let's see if I can do this.
Can we jimmy the wardrobe open with the credit card? Yeah.
Good. The mechanism gave way.
I see Dinos Larry in the chat has said that his first reaction would be to look for a sharp object to cut off a part of blanket. Well, he's clever, or she's clever. I don't know if he's a man or a woman.
Right. That was actually my first instinct too, which is why I immediately came back into the bed, and I remember that I had torn it on the spring right here. So that's it's interesting, but obviously, yeah. So this is one of those situations though where you, I guess, the immediate logic isn't reflective,
Not
but.
Just yet. It won't take more than a few hours for the wound on my foot to turn really ugly. And the last thing I need now is a serious infection.
I don't want you to put him on. I just want you to pick him up. That's fine. All right, so we'll use the whiskey on my foot, I guess.
No, your foot is not a hot spot.
My foot is not a hot spot?
No, it's not.
Oh, no, yeah, I don't have a hot spot foot.
A high-proof whiskey. And the bottle was hidden in Rod's closet. I suppose that.
While Elegy is doing that, I'm just really quick. Hi, this is Kitty from Robot Loves Kitty. I'm gonna do a giveaway for Dead Synchronicity right now, since we've got 15 minutes left to the show, so you'll know by now if you're super crazy wanting this game or not. So if you get the key, speak up in chat. Otherwise, if you're really bummed out, you should buy it. Ta-da! All right, I'm going away again. Sorry.
No worries. Actually, on the subject of purchasing it, so how much? Obviously, it's available on Steam.
Yeah.
How much?
It's just a pillow.
Well, the regular price is $19.99,
Okay.
I think. But well, you know how Steam works, and good old games are humble. So if you look, if you spend a little while on the internet, I'm sure you can find an offer, or sale, or whatever.
Sure
And
thing.
it's available for iOS as well, only for iPad at the moment, and for Android tablets as well.
Cool. Oh, so you also have it on tablet, so it's mobilely available.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know it was available on mobile. What drove that decision?
Well, we had tablets on mine from the very beginning. We think they're really great devices to play point-and-click adventure games. Currently, we're deciding whether to release the game for smartphones as well, because for instance, iPhone 6 is big enough to play a point-and-click adventure. Maybe older devices are quite small, So we're making our minds right now about that.
I hope the alcohol is enough to keep it from getting infected. Let's pray this improvised remedy doesn't lead to a delightful case of gangrene.
What bastard put a lid on the drum? You tried to suffocate me, you bunch of assholes!
I think that guy out there just discovered the reason for a sudden coughing fit.
Some coward in this shithole wanted to suffocate me. Me? Who was it? Who was it? Come back here so I can give you back your lid, you son of a bitch!
What a nice guy.
Yeah. There are a lot of nice guys in that Synchronicity.
I'll go have a look. I think it's that poor drunk who's always hanging around the trailer. He's kicking up a fuss again. It's a good thing poor Colin can't hear his insults.
Don't ever say anything like that again, Rod.
I'm sorry, honey. I wasn't thinking.
Wow, that's Ooh.
Wait a minute. There's that moaning again. What's happening in that room?
Oh.
What are you doing here? Get out of here! You've no business being in this room!
Rod, I'm sorry. But what's going on?
Get out of here, Michael!
This conversation you're going to have with Rod, it's just like the last part of this introduction. Just like you're going to receive some pieces of information. You're going to get the first goal of the game in this little conversation, which is to get a cure for Colin. I'm sorry, the little kid that's ill, and that's your first goal. And after that, it's just like the game opens and opens and opens. It gets wider and wider, and you get you go on getting more and more goals. So this is the last heavy conversation.
Michael, I won't
to start off with. All right.
In my house. Yes, Colin caught that damn disease.
So this is our opportunity to actually learn of what it was the dissolving disease, the dissolved.
Yeah. In that conversation, you get a lot of information about the dissolved and what happens to them. And Rod says that he's heard that there's a cure, but it's very expensive, so no one has it in the camp. So you have to leave the refugee camp in order to get a cure for Colin.
Okay. I'm actually I'm extremely curious about this disease. That seems like the neatest element that's been thrown so far.
What the army brings us. They say the disease is highly contagious, and it's our duty to turn over all victims to the cleanup brigades. But no one has ever come back after being carried off in one of those ambulances. No one. So we can't let them take Colin. Do you understand?
Yes, of course I understand.
They say that all the victims...
Yeah, and Rod offers Michael in return to give him more information about himself, because he used to work in in a city hall, in an official place, so he has access to data about people. So it's just like a deal. Okay, so bring me a cue for my son, and I'll give you information about yourself.
Okay, so obviously a very clear incentive, both for Michael and the player, wanting to know more about the character they're involved with. So that's all right. As opposed to just being like I'm a generally nice guy. Oh, let me just run over and grab this cure for you. Pop down and grab some Dayquil, you know.
Yeah. With Rod, we wanted to create some kind of still polite character. In this crazy, insane world people are living in, Rod is still, calmed and polite and old mannered.
Strange things.
No, he's got honestly, he reminds me of my my last landlord. When I was living in Maryland, and this is a very nice carpenter, ran his own business, very just polite individual. I actually had some like old mail sent to him, so he sent me a message just the other day, and it's just I was like, I don't know why I'm still getting your mail. I'm gonna go down to the post office and I'm gonna tell them, pardon my phrasing, to get their S together. Like, and he sent me the letter S. He's just very like, just the thought of swearing just kind of set him off a little bit. So I'm getting this very similar vibe, just like, I'm sorry, dear, I won't say it again, and just like this well-mannered, well-to-do kind of guy. So like immediately, with the few characters we've met, we've got this nice like contrasting set of characters that have very different personalities that still feel very unique, but little things like that definitely build a world nicely.
But how did Colin get infected?
We don't know.
Thank you.
No one knows how the disease is spread. The only thing we know is that the disease appeared after the catastrophe, and that it's spreading like wildfire.
So the Great Wave brought the dissolved with it?
Yes, but don't use that word again. Not in this house, anyway. It's
so offended
cruel and disrespectful.
Yeah.
In effect, that's the only thing we know for sure about all this insanity. The Great Wave took everything from us and left us with this epidemic.
What's happening to Colin is terrible. If only there was something I could do.
Well, Michael, you can help us.
Oh, there he
I'm
goes.
Convinced that our finding you was no coincidence. You've got to help us.
Well, I see there are some winners. Congratulations to the winners. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty in pink. Managed to win a copy of Dead Synchronicity. For everyone else, this is so you said it was GOG Humble. The Humble store might have it.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Sorry, so this you can get this on Steam, GOG.
Yeah. Steam. Yeah.
Humble.
The game is on Humble, yeah, but
okay.
I think we passed some Steam codes to
their store. Are they able to get it through your website as well? I typically like to buy directly from the developers when I can, because I know Steam takes their cut, so it's definitely like you still get the key, but
yeah, it's not on our website to buy, because the game has been published by Daedalic Entertainment, which is a publisher specializing in point-and-click adventure. So they sell.
They did. Was it Deponia? That's the last point-and-click I played.
Yeah, in fact, yesterday they announced a new game of the Deponia saga. It's going to be released next week, in fact.
Oh geez, yeah. I still have to play the second and third. I've only played the first one. That's one that had really weird solutions to everything. So I like that so far everything's at least mostly logical.
Yeah.
Disinfect a bandage, put it in a shoe, we're good. Like, all right, that makes sense. Cover a bum's trash can lid, that's cool.
Getting involved looks dangerous. I saw that shooting out there. There's also the possibility of infection.
Infection? Are you afraid for your life, Michael? Without our help, you'd be dead right now. Dead. Don't forget that. What's more,
maybe you'll want to skip the sentences and because now that you wear shoes, you can leave these 3 locations, and maybe you can wonder in these last minutes why.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm like I said, the disease really has my attention. So I'm just like, I want to learn more about all this.
That's good. Yeah.
All right. So we got shoes now. We can.
Before it might come in handy if as right.
Yeah, we introduced one notebook, the diary you take in the first location.
Mm-hmm.
If you examine it, that's where you're going to see your goals.
Okay, I was wondering how this was going to play out. All right.
Yeah, in case you have been 1 week without playing the game, then you can browse the diary and say, okay, that's what I had to do.
This is the barrier. The soldiers keep it low.
Do I get to leave? Are they gonna let me go?
Where do you think you're
It's
going,
not going to be
Rat?
that easy.
No one leaves here without a pass, unless it's with a bullet between the eyes.
Yes, and we can take care of that for you if you don't get away from that gate. Come on, scumbag, stick your neck out. We could use a little entertainment tonight.
What's the matter, Rat?
I think it's best if I get away from the... Sorry, guys.
Now that's what I like.
But they want an entertain. Wow, that's
Dozens
holy
of
crap.
marks. Oh my god.
Ooh, that's rough. That is rough. All right, so we got some areas that we can actually go like look in and
Yeah, you
cement
can.
house up there.
Yeah, there's an exit there.
Oh, just to, I'm kind of like the mediator. I don't know what's going on. We've got about like 5 minutes left on the show. So if you had anything really interesting that you wanted to share about any of the processes, this is a great chance.
Oh, okay. Well, like I told you, we've been just 4 people making the game with the support of some mates, but basically 4 people. We started making the game on November 2014. No, 2013, I'm sorry. So we've been developing it for about 18 months. After 4 months, we released a Kickstarter campaign to find the funds we needed to finish the game. And, well, luckily it was successful and we got about $51,000, which was really cool. We asked for 45, so it was great. And we thank every backer of the campaign because without them, the game wouldn't have been possible. And a few months later, well, some publishers contacted us in order to publish the game, and we decided to go with Daedalic because it's a company we admire, we love. And, well, this is our first game, so it's been quite a training experience, It's been very important for us because we met a lot of great people, all the developers and artists, and we've been to lots of events where we've met players who played our game, and it's great. We wanted to make a game that moved players, sometimes in a very dark way, but to move them anyway. And, well, every time we receive an email or a tweet or whatever.
Okay, I just want...
No, it's pretty
felt
awesome.
like trying. Yeah, it's amazing. It's a feeling that really fulfills you. And it's worth for all the work and stuff that happens when you're developing a game. So it's been a really great experience.
Getting those famous call connection issues. Do we still have you?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. You got staticky and it cut off bad, so I was just making sure.
Oh, okay.
No, this is very cool. I actually can't wait to get some playtime with it myself. I don't get to sit down and play point and clicks terribly often.
What did you call me?
You're Mr. Sleepyhead. I saw you. I'm so glad you're awake now.
Mr. Sleepyhead.
This is Rose. It's one of the most special characters in the game. And, well, I can't tell you anything more about her without spoilers, but it's a really, really special character.
A very special character?
Yeah.
So, as far as, like, the writing concerns, like, obviously having a lot of these very interesting and very in-depth characters, have you pulled, like, when you guys were developing this, did you guys pull inspiration from people that you actually knew to, like, add some more life to some of the random NPCs that you pull along?
To characters, you mean? Yeah. Like your landlord, or? Yeah,
it's something to that effect. Like, obviously you make those connections and those relations, so, like, that's always something that I find interesting in these larger narratives where there's a lot of characters. Is like, how many people are just like, this is the guy from the coffee shop that I talked to on Thursdays, like.
Well, I'm not sure because I'm not the writer, and I'm not aware of it. But yeah, we got a lot of inspiration by other games or by novels like The Road by Cormac McCarthy, or maybe films like the films from by Tarkovsky or La Jetée, you know, a short film which inspired the 12 Monkeys film some years later. You know, these or even the terror movies from the 80s by John Carpenter of sci-fi. You know, all this stuff is present in the game. In fact, we set a set of Steam achievements which are based on movies and books and TV series that we loved. You know, so we wanted to make Steam achievements a very, you know, fun thing.
And that's I like it. I like it when developers keep that in mind, that like achievements can be like fun, enhancing things rather than just like arbitrary. Like, oh, we feel obligated to include these.
Yes. We think the achievements are quite fun to get. You know, just like sometimes there are players that tell us that they suddenly got an Steam achievement without knowing why, and then when they read the name of the achievement, it's like, oh man, okay, I get it now. You know, so.
She seems whoa.
Get in there. Another. Just a minute.
Get in that van, Rose.
It's a very important secret, Mr. Sleepyhead. Something about you. Something about before the Great Wave.
Ooh, that's intriguing. That's intriguing. I think that's a nice line to just kind of like let it float, because I think we're on time.
Okay.
I'm very impressed with the game, the animation style, the VO. You guys have something very nice here. Thank you so much for dropping in and showing this off and answering some of my silly questions about it.
No. Thank you for inviting us to the Supershow. I've had a really good time, and well, now I'm going to leave our Twitter account and so forth in the chat.
Yes.
So everyone who wants to ask us something or whatever, of course, they can write us, and we'll be happy to answer. So thanks a lot.
Wonderful. And I have to say that this is your first game. Really surprised me hearing that.
Oh, really?
This is a very well put together game.
Well, thanks a lot. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Congratulations and best of luck.
Well,
thank you.
Yeah, well done with everything. I'm gonna have to find some time maybe next week to sit down with this and play.
Cool. Perfect. So thanks a lot, and good luck with the rest of the Super Show. I think that's a great initiative, and it's really fantastic to share our game with players and viewers and all of you. So thanks a lot for inviting us.
It's my pleasure. It really is. We're going to do another giveaway of your game as well while we switch over. So that'll be fun.
Okay.
Because
perfect.
you were really generous. Thank you so much for sending us keys to give away as well.
Not at all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Have a good one.